Hello, and welcome to GoodCast, a podcast produced by Goodwill North Central Texas. It's a show where we take a closer look at the education, training, and job placement opportunities made possible thanks to the generous donations of everyday people. For our final episode of 2025, we'll be discussing our ReLaunch program, highlighting the work our team is doing with formerly incarcerated individuals. Speaking with us is Dee Johnson, who provided a ton of insight and information in our conversation. Let's get started.
My name is DeAndre Johnson. I go by D. Everyone knows me as D. I started at Goodwill in it was 4 years ago. It was 4 years ago. I want to say 21. It's when I came a little bit during COVID. I came in the midst of COVID. I started out as an employment specialist with the Opportunity Accelerator program. It was a time where I needed a job like no other, and it came. Little did I know it ended up being the job that I did not know that I definitely wanted in my life. Not only for my own personal growth, but I enjoy watching other people grow and helping people grow. So it ended up being a dream job.
Well, and especially during COVID, like in a way, the Opportunity Accelerator was like popping off because everybody needed a job. It felt like, and trying to do that, especially like remotely, was really tough. Yeah. So I know a lot of our virtual services were really going strong during that time period.
Yes.
You recently got a promotion.
And I recently got a promotion. I just recently promoted to director. I went from employment specialist. I think 6 months later, I was promoted to lead employment specialist. Maybe 6 months after that, I was promoted to supervisor. And then a little bit after that, it was a program manager and now director. So I have definitely grown the ladder of success with Goodwill, and I'm so grateful. I see what the power of work can do, and I believe in it. And so that's what I push for.
So what are the programs that you're currently overseeing?
Currently, I oversee Opportunity Accelerator, which is like a umbrella that targets different demographics. So one of our demographics is the homeless and the at risk of homeless, which is the Goodwill Works program. We have ReLaunch, which is those that serve the reentry population. We have the OAV program, which is our Vet Worthy program.
When you were in Opportunity Accelerator, did you have a lot of engagement with those other programs? Is there a lot of like cross collaboration? How does
Absolutely.
that work?
Yeah. So Opportunity Accelerator is, in a nutshell, it's all employment. Even though those programs are separated, and they're separated to customize the need of the client, right? But overall, our end game is the same. We are here to make sure that these people are job ready. Once they are job ready, we are putting them out in the market, giving them opportunities that they may or may not have if they just went off their basic skills alone without being trained and upskilled.
So if we're talking about ReLaunch specifically and folks who are coming out of incarceration, what are some barriers that they typically might face?
Typically, what we see is, of course, a lack of education, long periods without work history, which is a turnout for most employers. They usually want someone that has recently had a job within the last 6 months or so, right? They usually struggle with having attire to go to work or to present for an interview. They lack childcare. They lack digital skills. And sometimes it's just answering some of the harder questions that they may get asked during an interview.
Yeah, I know that technological aspect is one thing that I've heard can be like huge, where, in extreme cases, it's like, there's a guy who was incarcerated and then came out like 10 or however many years later. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, cell phones are like smartphones now.
Yes.
And now technology changes so quickly, having to adapt to it feels like a huge hurdle.
Absolutely. So that is, and we partner really close with our DCA program, our digital skill program, because of that lack. Now, I do know a lot of Texas prisons are incorporating a lot of tablets and computers and things like that because they realized that people were being released to a society that is 90% technical, and they have limited to no technical skills, because maybe when they came in, we might only had the big box cell phone, the one that came in the purse. Where now everything is touchscreen. Everything is, I don't even remember my phone number because it's in my phone. Like, everything is digital, and we are in a digital world. And then we tell them to fill out an application using this very fancy computer screen, and they can barely type or barely know how to write their name. Those are the things that we struggle with when it comes to that population.
Yeah, we had a success story a couple of years ago, a client named Brittany Hart, I think, who, while she was in prison, I think near the Austin area, that area's Goodwill would actually send folks in to teach digital skills. They'd have classes and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so when she got out and she came to DFW area, she already had that kind of knowledge, hey, Goodwill helps people in this regard. I wonder what else they could do. So she came to us, and then we were able to get her a position with, I think, UPS.
Yes.
Yeah. And she talked about how integral those kind of services were to her.
I used to do my outreach at the Tarrant County Probation Office, Parole Office, and we present at what they call their new arrival class. The new arrival class is just what it sounds like. It's people that are recently released, and they have to attend this class just to kind of go over guidelines, regulations, things that the state required them to follow in order to be out on parole. Mm-hmm. And so they would give me some time to go in there and talk to the ladies and gentlemen. And I met this one guy. I can't remember his name because it was quite a while ago, but he was so eager to work. He had a family to go home to. He had a very nice job. He was a manager of a big warehouse company at one point in time, and before he got in trouble. And then he went to prison for 8 years. So then when he came back, all he was thinking about was he was motivated to take care of his family and get a new start. But again, he was nervous. He had the stain on his background, and he is pretty much deterred at this point that he cannot get a job. Nobody would accept him. It's kind of a mental breakdown when what they deal with in there, right? So he worked with us. He signed up for the OA program. The employment specialist and the job placement specialist worked with him hand in hand. Mm-hmm. He eventually got a job at Tyson's Chicken, making $25 an hour as a supervisor. Wow. Out the gate. Mm-hmm. And it just all boiled down to certain employers being open to giving those second chance opportunities, because he was in this amazing work. I think right now he's maybe even running the plant. I mean, he was a great guy. He just had a hiccup in the road. So programs like ReLaunch and One Stop and, all the reentry programs that are out in the community, they're building new ones. Mm-hmm. And we want that to continue to happen, because people make mistakes. I've made mistakes. You've made mistakes. It may didn't end us up in that situation, but we've been forgiven and given second chances to do something greater and better. And I feel like they deserve the same thing.
Right. Yeah, because there is a stigma like you're talking about. That gives me two things I kind of want to shoot off of. The first is is that something that y'all kind of help coach them with? Is that fear or lack of confidence or anxiety about oh, I'm never going to get a job because XYZ? Or is that something I know with our Vet Worthy program, we can kind of refer them to counseling services and stuff. Do we have an equivalent in ReLaunch, or is that something y'all do?
Absolutely. And we do a lot of peer coaching. Sometimes it's just getting them to realize hey, you did work when you were in jail, because some of them had jobs when they were there. Some of them worked in the kitchen. Some of them worked in laundry. Some were gardeners. All those are skills and trades that you can put on your resume, right? It's just how you write it. And so just being able to learn those extra tools, right, to get prepared for employment, I think also helps them walk away with the confidence, I can do this. Mm-hmm. The things that I thought were impossible are now possible. And that's our end goal. We also, we put on about 3 to 4 expungement clinics per year. Goodwill pays for a certain number of people to see if they can get some things expunged from their record, which also helps them with being able to maintain and even be able to feel great about getting the job.
Right. Yeah. Those events always have a huge turnout, and like you can see the visible like relief.
Yes.
As people are walking out of the door, just like, okay, here is my like fresh start. Right.
Yes, and that's the reward. That's the reward. To be in this field. And we're talking about reentry, but even with the veterans or when we're talking about the at-risk of homeless or homeless, any time you help or assisted, because ultimately it's them. We are empowering them to get the job done. When you are witnessing that or are a part of that, it just does something to your soul that it just makes you want to go harder. Let me find more resources. Let me find more jobs. And that's what OA is all about.
How important is it like that we go to people?
Well, like we discussed before, transportation is hard, even for working Americans at this point. I mean, the economy is crazy. So because of transportation issues, and in some areas, like such as Arlington, we serve like 18 counties. So some of those areas don't have public transportation. We have to be of a resource. If we are going to be a resource, resources have to be fluid. They have to be able to go places that most people don't go. And that's what we do. We get in our bag of tricks and we reach around to everybody in the community that is willing to hear us out, feel there is a need for our services, and then we reach out and set up a schedule, if you must say, so that people know that we're there. So we want to be in a routine of things. So they say, oh, I know what Goodwill is there on Tuesdays, or I know Goodwill is there on Fridays. But we want people to know that we are here. We are here. We are ready. We come prepared to do. If you just want information, we can give you information. If you're ready to sign up, we can sign you up. We want to be ready at all times for people, because what we notice is that today you might want a job. Tomorrow, if you get influenced by the wrong influence, you may have a change of heart. So we want to catch you while we got you.
Right. Yeah. I think it's a better approach than just like, just sitting there and hoping people will come to you, right? Like we can be in all these areas, but like, if people don't know about us, if we're not talking to people or they're not hearing about the services that we offer, then,
you'll be amazed how many people, when we go in to present ourselves, tell them about our services, they're thinking we're bringing clothes or merchandise. And it's like, oh man, you have no idea. When we take those opportunities, especially with other partners or community programs, we want to bring them in. Let me give you a tour of what Goodwill is about so you can see. And most of the time, 98% of the time, people leave with their mouth wide open. They are not aware that Goodwill has all these services. And you're right, they're all well needed, so that you can not only get a job or get help getting a job or build a resume. We can also link you to getting digital skills. You can get certified in IBM certifications with Google. Those things are free. They're free. Nothing beats free. This lady told me that the other day. So nothing beats free. You're absolutely right. Nothing beats free. Even our programs that cost, our NTI program, you can get certified and get in a CDL, medical billing and coding, medical front desk. These are career paths that can take you a long way for the rest of your life, right? These things are either low cost, or we at least try our best to get them sponsored in some type of way, because we know that our people are struggling with hardships, financially, transportation, things like that. So we are doing the work. We just need people to come.
Yeah, I know we host a lot of job fairs and resource fairs, but I know a lot of our teams will also go to partner events. Formerly incarcerated folks, the Continuing the Climb Job Expo is a huge one. Can you kind of break down what it looks like for our staff when we're going to like partner hosted events versus holding our own?
All right. So when we are partnering with, and the Continue to Climb one is a partnership that we have with Tarrant County's One Stop program. It's massive, right? But it's a lot of brains put together. So it's not just our resources and our partners. It's everyone that's connected to this committee is bringing in, and so it is massive. I think we average every continue to climb around 600 to 700 people participants.
Wow.
So that's a pretty good turnout. Versus when we are hosting our own. It's still pretty massive. We are getting our name out. I think we're averaging somewhere between 200 to 300 attendees per event. But it is just us. So we are personally going out there, making the connections, getting the commitment letters with the different partners in the community. So we're connecting with In-N-Out Burger. We're connecting with General Motors. We are going out and presenting ourselves and saying, hey, this is what we have. And we have a lot of potential candidates that we think that would be great. Mm-hmm. And they're interested in the re-entry part, because a lot of employers are going into that initiative of second chance, which is great. What we have seen, and I would like to see something or someone come up with some solutions to this, is our extreme criminal charges. They have a harder time. They get a stiff hand. So I would like to see something come available for those that are trying, that want a new start, but there's just no opportunities right now.
I mean, there have been a ton of studies put out there that, employment is a huge factor when it comes to recidivism rates, or like the rate at which people kind of cycle in and out of prison. So if you're constantly returning to it because you can't find a job, like that's something, we talk about the confidence factor too.
Absolutely.
Like that's really difficult.
So that is, in my opinion, a reason why there is a lot of revolving door with that population, because at some point I'm defeated. If this is how I was making money before, I might have to go back to that.
Right.
Versus trying to start over and do it the civil way. So
are the goals for your team different at outreach events like Continuing the Climb? Because you talk about like getting the folks who are interested in our programs, but then that networking side of it feels like an extra layer.
Some are easier than others. We do have really great partners. All of them are super great. I think when it boils down, it all gets down to just the legal issues and the liability of having certain charges in the business. And we understand that Goodwill is also a second chance employer. But we also have our stipulations, right, for safety reasons. But I do hope that is something that we can expound into. I think it will definitely create more opportunities and help less people be in that revolving door, if there's something else for them.
Right. I feel like this is probably the wrong take. I feel like
it's okay.
I feel like I would maybe get like a little competitive with the other vendors. Like, no, Goodwill's the best. Like, we got all this stuff.
Goodwill is the best. But I'm biased, but yes.
But, at the end of the day, it's all about, like, helping out the community.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't have all the tools that someone needs, but this person does.
Right.
And that's just as good.
Right. And that's what we try to do. And a lot of times you'll be amazed, a lot of people are looking to do the same thing. Building those partnerships, it does take a lot of strategizing, planning, and seeing what worked, what won't work, before you can really kind of get the machine fully running. And sometimes that takes 2 weeks, and sometimes that takes 2 years. It just depends on what the initiative is. Is it something that we can be innovative and branch more programs and more ideas and things off of? I think that's what those partnerships boil down to.
It's such an individual, like case-by-case situation with clients where it's like, we have to work to tailor the path for the individual.
Correct.
So like, if we don't have something, we can get you this far. And then, we'll pass the baton.
Yes.
And we have this resource with such and such that's going to help you even more.
Right. That's exactly how we move. That's the path. We are here to help if they allow us. I think it's important to empower the actual client, because it's their goals. This is their career path. I can't put you on a path and push you toward a path that you don't desire, right? If you have no interest and no grit, as Bobby say, they don't have no skin in the game. They got to get some skin in the game, right? You need some skin in the game because once you get that skin, that creates the passion, that creates the drive, that make you say, okay, I'm not going to quit because my boss made me mad today. I'm not going to, fall off the wagon. It's those seeds that we plant during that process of training for job readiness are key components to whether the client will be successful or whether the client gives up and maybe have to come back again. The idea of OA is for us to assist you, train you, get you equipped, get you a job or your career, and then you never have to see us again, right? It's like the bird leaving the nest. You're flying away and you're soaring. But the reality of it is we do have birds that need a lot more flight lessons before we free them. And that's what Goodwill is for.
I think the biggest thing, or one of the things that, I have noticed at least, is that once we have given a client the tools to do something, their goals just kind of like explode. Like I can't tell you how many CDL students I've talked to who are like, yes, I want to drive for a little bit, but the overall goal, I want to have my own business.
Yes.
I want to drive for myself. I want to have my own fleet, like that sort of thing. And I think that's really cool, is just like opening that possibility. Because I'm sure when you come out of incarceration, like you don't know if that can happen.
I was at a job fair last year, and we had a job fair at the YMCA, and it was a gentleman that I met at the parole office. And he promised me he was going to come to the event. I met him the day before, and I said, well, we have a hiring event at the Y. If you can come out, spend some time out there, you might get lucky. And he came out he had his best on. So his best was what he had. And it wasn't a whole lot, but he was at his best. He combed his hair. He looked completely different from the day I seen him before. But that told me that he was putting in the skin. He was putting in the grit to get the job. And he came to that job fair. He was early. He met with one employer. The first employer he met with was In-N-Out Burger. They were starting out at $17.50. Right? That man walked out of there with that job. And I have never seen someone jump as high, cry. Like I've never seen grown men fall like that until you see them reach a goal that they thought was impossible. This man didn't think he could ever get a job, ever. And then he walked in and he walked out a totally different man. His dreams changed. His thoughts changed. His goals changed in less than an hour. That's the power of work.
Is that why you do what you do?
That is why I do what I do. You can see my eyes tearing up. This is a passion for me. I don't think you can do this job of servitude without having the heart to do it. When you're dealing with people that are pretty much expecting you to help them change their lives, it's a lot of pressure. And either the pressure can break you or it can build you. And at this point, it didn't build me. So I am a machine to help people.
So if someone comes across this and, either needs a job or knows someone coming out of incarceration who needs a little help, like what advice would you give them?
I would advise them to, for one, get with someone that is willing to support them through the journey, because they're going to need some family support, friends. If you don't have family, you're going to need somebody that can either help you at least get to the things that you can't until you can get there. So connect with a strong support system. Then I would say get with Goodwill. Come up to our either our campus location or our Airport Freeway location or our Denton JRC. We have a Denton JRC as well. And we are opening our Weatherford JRC very soon. I'm excited about that. So you can come to any one of those locations and ask for intake. Our enrollment specialist will get them enrolled. In that very moment, we'll work out getting them trained and getting the job readiness training complete so we can get them assigned with a job placement specialist who would then walk them along their journey of employment. Yeah.
You just got to walk through the door.
You just walk through the door. That's it. You don't even have to say good morning because we're going to say it for you. Just walk through the door.
Well, I think that's all the questions I've got.
Oh, that was awesome.
So thank you for speaking with me today.
Thank you.
And yeah, I think I'm excited to see what y'all do in the coming year.
Yeah, so. we are growing. We're growing fast too. I'm very proud of the people that do the work. The employees, they work hard. Mm-hmm. They work hard, and some of the things that they face you wouldn't imagine, but mm-hmm. they're dedicated to getting the job done. And I think our record shows that. So mm-hmm. I hope we continue to do great things, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
good job, y'all.
Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
New title. Thank you once again to Dee for speaking with me, and thank you for listening. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. Be sure to tune in to our social media channels for more incredible moments and stories from Goodwill, North Central Texas. Thank you.